everyone, Chelsea here from Men Physical Therapy, and today we're going to talk about the dynamic duo of the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. These two big muscle groups work together in conjunction in our trunk to control intra-abdominal pressure. You can kind of picture these two working together like a soda can, the diaphragm being the top, the pelvic floor being the bottom. And the soda can should be shifting like a piston, a well-oiled machine within our body. On a big, deep inhale, taking a deep breath in through the nose, the diaphragm should be moving down. It contracts downward to allow the lungs to fill up with air. Now again, to control intra-abdominal pressure, the pelvic floor should also follow suit and move down. This is what we often term as lengthening or even relaxation. You'll hear in the cues sometimes. Now on the opposite, where you're exhaling, the diaphragm is now recoiled back up as the air is moving out of the lungs. The pelvic floor should also shift up, and this is when we actually see a contraction of the pelvic floor. So oftentimes when we're cueing for exercise or for coordination, we talk about inhale, relax, exhale, contract. Now, specifically when we're talking about exercise, it's really important to understand how to manage the pressure for certain movements. We'll go over a couple here that are pretty consistent in our workouts and generally can be used to help prevent any excessive intra-abdominal pressure, which can turn toward pelvic floor dysfunction like urinary leaking, especially with heavy level lifting, as well as abdominal pain, pressure, and even GI dysfunction. So thinking about this movement again, as we go down into a squat's the first one we'll talk about. As you're bending your knees and lowering into that squat, this should be a deep inhale. Everything is just lengthening down towards your toes. And as you come back up out of that squat, lifting the heavy weight, you should be exhaling and using the pelvic floor as another stability muscle for our core, our pelvis, and our spine. Second to this is a hip hinge, or what we like to term a deadlift. In a deadlift motion, same idea. As you're going down, you can kind of feel everything lengthening backwards. Your sits bones should be opening. This is going to be a big inhale to allow the pelvic floor to lengthen. And as you come back out of this position, you're going to exhale as you engage the pelvic floor and the deep abdominals, as well as the glutes, to bring you out of that position and help stabilize around the core. If you have any questions or you feel like you are not quite understanding the role of the pelvic floor and the diaphragm working as a piston together, especially if you're noticing symptoms while lifting, please reach out. It's definitely something to pay attention to, and it's something to at least allow pelvic floor physical therapists to help you examine and evaluate and potentially navigate this theory and this system.